Hi guys, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor and your leverage for change. Today I'll be speaking about how to know when you're being used. I think at a very innate level that we all know that we're being used, but some people uh, may mistake it that this person is really interested in them and or people actually want to be with them. And so I want to really clarify these points by pointing out giving you some pointers to be able to really kind of realize that this person might be using you. All right, so guys, please, if you find any value in this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell if you find it, so that you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So what is the first thing I think you should really notice is that this person they're always making some kind of a promise, but they can never come through with what they said they were going to do. They talk a lot. They tell you, I'm going to do this, we're going to do that, they're going to call here, whatever it is. They make a lot of promises, but they never keep their promises. And so this will begin to, the thing you may begin to feel is that you feel that you cannot trust this person, which is totally correct. You cannot trust this person. Another thing that you will notice is that they are always asking for favors all the time, but they are never around when you need them. Or if you ask them for a favor, they're always busy, or they're going to be, they're always full of excuses. That's another thing. If you're always doing stuff for them, but first of all, they never even call you until they actually need you for something, that is another sign that this person is using you. Another thing is that they'll always be testing your boundaries. You may say, you know what, I go to bed at 10, but they will call you at 12, and then the next day they will be upset that you did not answer your phone, or whatever it might be, because it's all about them and you're being used. Maybe they came home from some club or some place, and they needed to talk to someone, and you were the only one available, or you were the only one that they know would allow them to call them anytime, and you would pick up, but you didn't pick up this time, and so you're now in the doghouse. You are being used. If you are also, another thing is, if you're also having, if you're also always a person who's trying to maintain connection with them, they never really reach out to you until they need something from you, you are being used. Okay? Another thing is that if the same thing with the converse, if you're having a conversation and they continually hog the conversation, you can't get a word in, they're using you to vent, but you can't get a word in, and as soon as you start opening your mouth, they shut you down, and then it's all about them again. You are being used. Another thing way that you can tell you're being used is that as I mentioned before, you only hear from them when they want something. When they want something, they will be there to call you, and sometimes they will do it in a kind of a back end way. They call to invite you somewhere, and then they say when you're there, when you can barely get out of it, or they call and do something for you just so that, because they know they're going to ask you for something, and they want you to feel that need to reciprocate, because they did something. They invited you out to dinner yesterday, so now they ask you to do something. That's manipulation, but what they're doing is using you. And now they expect, because they took you out to dinner or invited you over for dinner, now when they ask you this thing, you should do it. All right, guys? That's another way to realize and recognize that you're being used. Your family or your friends may warn you about this person, that they're using you, because somehow you're blind to it. Look at it. Look at instead of shutting down your family and friends, ask what it is that they're seeing. Look for evidence of it, and instead of just shutting them down because it's coming from somebody else. All right, because this is a lot of times this happens when people are being used. Somebody else will notice something and say something, but the other person will just totally shut them. You know, the person being used will just shut them down because they're so caught up with this person for whatever reason that they would not want to think this bad thing about them, that they're just using them. If you go out to dinner or somewhere, they never have money to chip in. If it's a group of people, they always don't have their wallet, they don't have enough money, they find some excuse, and you're always paying their bills, right? You're being used. Let's see. If you say no, or when you say no, they always make you feel bad, like you committed some serious crime. You're being used, guys. So I hope that that is some kind of way that you will hopefully recognize that you're being used. Another thing, guys, you know, everybody's going out somewhere and they invite the people I think they find valuable, and then they don't invite you yet. Every time they want something to be done, they call you, but they won't invite you to their, you know, getaways or to some exclusive parties. They won't invite you. You're being used. Okay, you're not good enough to go to their party. You're not good enough to do anything for them. Okay, so okay, guys. So these are just some pointers to look for in relationships, and these are relationships with intimate relationships sometimes, and but mostly a lot of times with friends and family members. Family members and friends can do that to you. Okay, guys, so I hope you learned something, and until next time, this is Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor and your leverage for change. Until next time, keep growing and never stop. Take care.